tuning in to another fun episode with your favorite Mouse Moms, Jennifer, that's me, Lori.
Hi.
And Juliana.
Hey!
As you know, we love to talk about dining at Disney. Planning your advanced dining reservations is a huge part of the fun and excitement when planning any Disney trip. Meals are attractions in and of themselves. We've always said that food at Disney is like the fifth theme park. But lately, it's been a little harder to get into those popular and more coveted dining locations. Maybe it's because dining gets booked later in the planning process now at 60 days prior to check-in, or maybe it's because capacity is still reduced or staffing and cast members has become a challenge. But whatever the reason, frankly, we think that there are others out there, other destinations, other restaurants out there that may be worth your time and tummy space. So what we've done for you today is we've chosen 4 off the beaten path table service options for you and 1 lounge in the Walt Disney World area to sample and review for you. You're welcome. And we're so excited to let you in on those hidden gems and secrets. But first, of course, we can't do anything, especially talk about food, without our Mouska cocktail. So Lori, what are we drinking today?
All right. So keeping in mind with the off-beaten path theme, we have chosen a cocktails at the Nomad Lounge. The Nomad Lounge is located just off of Tiffin's Restaurant in Animal Kingdom. So if you are heading towards Pandora, it is on your right-hand side there. They do not take reservations, but
I am the map. So very detailed. Sorry, go ahead.
It is. I literally can see it in my head. To the left is the photo with okay. So they don't take reservations, but they will take your name and offer you a call back on your cell phone when the table's ready. They have drinks and little snacks, and they actually do have entrees for the kiddos and indoor and outdoor seating. I prefer the outdoor seating, but it is a super relaxing area. It actually looks onto one of the small rivers that is going around Animal Kingdom. Absolutely love it. This was one of the places that I really didn't know about beforehand.
Hidden gem.
I
love this place. Like the atmosphere, like you were saying, is so chill. The inside is beautiful, but outside is just like, it's like comfy, like bar couches, and it's outside. And
you almost forget that you're in Disney, to be honest. It just looks like you're in this chill place in Florida looking at like the waterfront.
And when we were there, it started to rain, and it was actually so nice to sit there while the rain was falling into the water, and we were just sitting there. But I know that we're supposed to be talking about a cocktail, but you mentioned the entrees for kids, because I never looked at Nomad Lounge because I'm always at Disney with my kids. I got to go there with you guys because we didn't have kids, but hey, they've got stuff to keep your kids busy. Entire meals for your kids, small plates for the adults, but meals for kids. I thought that was a really cool thing. But more importantly, I'm sorry to digress. What did we drink?
Okay, so there's lots of different drinks there and lots of variety of cocktails and wines. So the 2 we're going to talk about, you guys tried them. So Juliana, you like the Tempting Tigress.
I love these names, by the way.
This one, shocker, had bourbon in it.
Right, duh.
Allspice dram, syrup, and lime juice. So you liked this one, correct?
I did. It was delicious. So the tamarind syrup was like a little bit of a tang. It wasn't too sweet. It was spicy and tangy and bourbony, which I love. It was delicious. I loved it. I love the whole menu here, but this one was my favorite for sure.
And then Jen, you had the Snow Leopard Salvation, which is that day I did not feel like drinking at that moment, but this is the one I would have picked. It is Snow Leopard vodka, a pear liqueur, mint, lime juice topped with ginger beer, which I am all about. But you liked this one.
I loved this one. And I had planned on drinking this ahead of time because in one of our other podcast episodes, I think with Trisha, the not so evil stepmother, we talked about this one. This one, a portion of the proceeds always goes to the foundation to save the snow leopard. So that was kind of cool. And so it's one of their signature drinks. It was delicious. I was really torn between this one and they have a drink on their menu called Jen's Tattoo, which I kind of felt obligated to get, but then the charity factor kind of one-upped it. But this was delicious. I would get this every single time that I go. Yeah.
Which should be every single time.
Which
I think it's
yeah.
safe to say that Nomad Lounge was definitely one of our favorite hidden gems. Like we definitely off the beaten path, approve of this one, seek it out.
Yeah. And the other cool thing, do you girls remember that when we were sitting, because we were sitting there for like 3 hours, one of the cool things, because cavalcades are happening still in Animal Kingdom, and they're happening in Animal Kingdom on the waterways. So we got to see the cavalcades as they came by without even getting up or putting our drink down, which is always a Mouska bonus. So.
We didn't even have to shove any kids out of the way. It was great.
Actually, to be fair, I think there was a child on the railing, which we might have just bumped.
Probably eating his full entree.
Probably deserved it.
You probably deserved it. Oh, my stars. On that note, so like I said, we love Nomad Lounge, and so we think that you should do it. No reservation required. We think that's a huge bonus. So that's Animal Kingdom. Let's look in at the 3 other parks. Like we've picked one from each of the 3 other parks. So how about we start with Magic Kingdom?
Always a good one.
Yes. Always the one everyone starts with, right?
Yeah.
So Magic Kingdom has like all the character meals that people try to do in the parks, like the really classic ones. Crystal Palace with Winnie the Pooh, Cinderella's Royal Table with all the princesses. What's the other one? Am I missing one? Oh, Be Our Guest does have Beast in dinner, or did. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still there.
Who has what now? I really haven't. I'm not sure.
Beast is there for dinner.
But we don't have Pooh and Friends, right? No. Or do we? Are they back?
No.
Anywho, that's not neither here nor there, because the restaurant that we think people should pay more attention to in Magic Kingdom is Jungle Navigation Company Limited Skipper Canteen, better known as the Skipper Canteen.
I was going to say Skipper Canteen.
Yeah, Skipper Canteen. So this restaurant opened like 6 years ago. And I remember reading it then and seeing the menu and being like, I need to try this. I'm definitely going to recommend it to clients. It looks really good. I love the idea of a table service lunch in Magic Kingdom to just sort of chill out. I've done the character meals. They're great. But I like this one for just a regular break in your middle of the day meal. When it opened though, it was not a lot of fanfare. It wasn't like Oga's or Space 220.
I think the menu itself is, and we'll go into it a little bit more, but it's very unique. It's not your standard Disney menu. There's definitely things there, but I think the initial menu kind of scares people off. But plus side, you can get alcohol here or wine and beer.
And plus side, I think let's not use scary. I think the non-traditional menu, especially when you're competing against the more kid-friendly menus or the ones with the characters or the better prime locations, I think those trump that for a lot of families, which means that it's usually not very difficult to get a reservation at this restaurant, which is so good for us because truly the definition of a hidden gem is that it's not a lot of people go there, but you should.
Right.
You really should, because the food is amazing. It's in Adventureland, which I love. It's kind of a cute little extension of the Jungle Cruise in that it's like the decor is eclectic. The waiters and staff have that same dad joke kind of humor. The menu has that humor, and the menu is fun and delicious. It's fun.
It was good. And I think that, I mean, maybe not the very pickiest of eaters, they might not find something, but I'm sure they'll work with you. I'll eat anything, so it didn't really matter to me. But let's talk about the restaurant itself. So if you're if you're a Jungle Cruise fan, no brainer. If you're even a Disney history or whatever fan, this is such a great place. There are 3 rooms in the restaurant. And there's tons of homage to Albert and Alberta Falls. The restaurant has a backstory that Alberta Falls, the daughter of Dr. Albert Falls, as we all know from the Jungle Cruise, was the man who discovered Schweitzer Falls. So funny. In the Jungle Cruise. So she set up this restaurant to feed the explorers. So there's a whole room dedicated to the, what is it? The SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, which is sort of a Disney, help me out here. Like, what's the word? It's kind of like a cult kind of Disney thing of these fictional characters.
Well, and if you're old school like we are and you've been going to Disney for years and years, you might remember Pleasure Island and the Adventurers Club. There are a lot of nods to that in there. Like, it's just, I love a restaurant with a story. And this definitely has so many stories and so many opportunities for you to kind of like look around at the decor and see all the hidden.
The only problem with it is that I wanted to get up from my table and walk around, but people are eating, and it's kind of frowned upon, especially nowadays, to like stand 2 feet from someone while they're putting food in their mouths. So I wasn't able to really get a good look at everything, but it's a really cool restaurant.
I'd say it's one of those restaurants where you kind of forget that you're in the middle of Magic Kingdom. You walk in, you sit down, you relax, you eat, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm still in the middle of Magic Kingdom. They've done such a good job with the theming of it that you forget where it's actually located at. And really, Juliana, you and I just tried this, and I'm shocked I didn't try it before. I really think I was put off by the reviews on the food, which I'm never doing again, because
I know
this was awesome.
It was so good.
Really was.
So let's talk about the food.
Yes,
let's talk about the food. Yeah,
So it's definitely an eclectic menu. It's definitely a Pan-Asian vibe. I've eaten there a couple of times, and I'm not a picky eater. My children are not picky eaters. So we went all out. The big thing that you go there to get is it's always it's a staple on the menu. It's just called sustainable fish. And their description is it's not piranha. And it's basically a whole fish that they deep fry and serve to you. So it comes with like the head and the tail all on and intact. It looks very ominous looking, but it tastes delicious. And my kids ordered that.
It sounds delicious. I'm going to get it next time. It comes with a guava habanero sauce. That sounds fantastic.
So delicious.
I might have to try that. I was just really feeling, when we were there, I was just really feeling the signature dish that is pretty basic, honestly. That tastes like chicken because it is, duh. But it's just fried chicken. It just has a sweet chili glaze on top of it and some stir-fried vegetables and rice. And it delivered. It was what I was in the mood for. Though I'm an adventurous eater, I don't think that's adventurous. And I went for it. It was what I wanted. But it was really well done. What did you get, Lori?
I ended up getting the noodles. So I got the Perkins Thai noodles. It has tofu and everything in there, but I added chicken to it.
That's right.
So it says, I think for some people it says spicy soy sauce. It has this and this. It's not spicy at all. As the guy said, it's Disney spicy, which I don't like spicy food, but I can handle Disney spicy.
In fact, that was billed as spicy. You did not think it was spicy.
Yes.
But we also got an appetizer of, what was it? The Orinoco Ida's cachapas.
Yes.
Which is corn
delicious.
Cakes, braised pork, roasted corn, Fresno pepper salsa, which I didn't think Fresno. Are they spicy? Lori thinks they're spicy. Actually, it was the avocado cream that Lori thought was spicy, which was interesting. And I think she might have been right.
Something in there was spicy.
But these were actually my favorite part of the whole meal. I thought they were delicious.
They were good. They were pork. Yeah, they were very good. And I will say, for the picky kids, you had the taste like chicken because it's chicken. And even on the kids menu, taking a look at the kids menu, they have macaroni and cheese. They have things that the kids can eat.
Right. Chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. You can.
But they also have coconut curry for your kids if you have one or if you have kids like mine, they'll just order from the adult menu because they like to spend your money.
The other great thing about this restaurant is it's really good for vegetarians and vegans. They have a lot of great options that are not billed on the vegan section of the menu. They're naturally, I think the noodles was one of them. Isn't that a tofu thing?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think this
I
is
just
great.
made it not.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a hidden gem. A gem. I think there's something for everybody there.
Yeah.
I
So
will
we did-
say for drinks, so they have wine and beer. I did end up getting the tropical sangria, which was
I
delicious.
had that too. Yeah.
So
Which
good.
was a little scary at first because remember our sangria issue at Epcot with the peach
Yes.
schnapps, the white
Oh.
sangria. So we asked him and he said no, and it was good. It went
It was
down
good.
easy good. Like
Yeah.
it was delicious. Honestly, I spread mine out into 2 drinks because I always get a club soda to drink, and it was a little sweet, so I drank half of it, poured club soda in the rest. It was fantastic. So twofer.
It's a twofer.
Here's your Mouska tip.
Mouska tip. Mouska
Dilute
tip.
your beverage. Anyway, so this is an off the beaten path restaurant, we think, and truly, like, it's right smack in the middle of Adventureland, but you would walk right by it if you didn't know it was there. And it's amazing because it's a big restaurant inside. I don't know how Disney magic, but whatever. It's like Mary Poppins' purse. So this off the beaten path is a hidden gem for us. We like
Absolutely.
this one.
5 stars.
All right.
5
Let's talk
Mouska stars.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, let's talk fancy Mouska stars. Let's go to Epcot now. So there's a ton of options at Epcot to eat, and we really do often say, don't bother table service here because, especially during festivals, because there's so many great bites and so many things you could eat all day long. But maybe for a special occasion, or if you just really want a break because you're going to be there sun up to sundown and longer, we came up with our off the beaten path. I think that I always find people want to do the Mexican place.
Yeah.
Where they want to do garden grill even for the characters, or after shoes for the characters, or the hibachi. Those are ones that can be a little trickier. But in Canada, there is
Canada,
an off the beaten path steakhouse by the name of Le Cellier. I've never been, so I'm going to turn it over to you guys because I'm jealous.
I want to be there now.
I was going to say, there's not a bad thing on this menu.
I'll be honest, like I just have never eaten there because it's not inexpensive, right? This is a fancy restaurant, a signature restaurant.
Yeah.
And like there's so much good food in Epcot.
Yeah, that's why.
But you guys have me convinced. So let's tell everybody else about it.
It is so, one, being Canadian, it is truly like a wine cellar Canadian steak restaurant where you're like down in this little cave.
Which is so cozy. It was so cozy. Like the atmosphere was, it was the dark woods. It was the lower ceilings. They had a fire roaring in the fireplace.
Yeah, I love that. Like the hunting lodge kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
it was the middle of July, but we just felt like you were at a hunting lodge in the middle of winter, and it was cozy and delightful. And I mean, from the minute we sat down, I was like, okay, all right, this is good.
Yeah. That's good to hear. That's really good to hear because I like the whole vibe of the Canada Pavilion to begin with. So if it's just like that and magnified, that's cool.
It's just like that. The food is delicious. So we ended up getting the cheese and charcuterie plate, which is amazing. There's a few really unique things on there. So one is what is it?
It was a beef fat candle.
Yes.
And so they lit the candle. And then
Don't
you
make
had
that
this. It does. It sounds
terrible.
It sounds very bizarre, but I promise you, it was the best thing I've ever put in my.
So what happens? So they light the little round solid fat, and it melts into.
It just like congeals a little.
Oh, that sounds
almost
fantastic.
It's almost the consistency of butter.
Yeah.
And so you take it with your knife and you spread it on this delicious
and now
like
my mouth is
artisanal bread. And it was really delicious. Like it sounded very weird. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay. But it was so good. And every piece of meat on there and every piece of cheese on there, like you had the history of where it was from. And my mouth is watering right now.
I was going to say, for Canadians, there's pate, which is like a big staple that my mom used to put out. It was so good. They do actually light that candle. If you're with Jen, you might need a lighter because she kept putting it out. We called our server over like 5 times.
With what, her heavy breathing? Like what?
No, because it kept, so it did its job and it was melting. And then every time I stuck my knife in it, I must have just touched the wick or something. I don't know what I did.
But no, that was delicious. And then of course I ordered the cheddar cheese soup because God.
It's good.
Is it the same cheddar cheese soup that you get at the festival?
So the festival again is great. And the funny thing is, this is a steakhouse. We did not get steak.
No.
Because the cool thing is during these festivals, you can sample the actual steak that they serve in Le Cellier that you'll pay in Cellier a fortune to eat, like $50-$60. And the cheddar cheese soup, you can sample those both outside. So we really wanted to taste some of the things that you couldn't get outside, which is why we did the charcuterie plate. And then we got the poutine. I've never tasted something like that in my life.
I'm so jealous. I need to make a reservation there just to get the poutine.
I was going to say, you do. So we got the beef bourguignon poutine, which has the French fries, obviously, and then the Gruyere, beef bourguignon gravy, garlic aioli, oh my God, I can't speak. Aioli,
yes.
And truffle. And I can't, I've had a lot of poutine at Epcot. That kicks every single poutine's butt.
It really, I've never tasted anything that good in my life. It was, again, paired with the whole, like the comfort vibe of the restaurant. When
you said paired, I just immediately went to a big glass of Cabernet.
We did not. What did we have? I don't even remember what we had to drink.
Poutine and beef bourguignon, poutine and Cabernet.
Cabernet, but we did not do wine. I don't remember what I did. I did some sort of cocktail.
I think I did wine. I did wine, but I did white wine.
It was
hot.
It was the best. That was the funniest thing about this is literally it was the middle of July. It was so hot outside, but we did. We felt like we were in a Canadian hunting lot. It was so, and it was
when you walked out, were you like, where are my skis? Oh, wait.
Yeah. It was the best night of my life.
Oh, wow. Woo. Sorry, Mark. So would you bring your kids to Le Cellier?
I think I would, honestly.
I have a daughter who told me last night that she misses truffles. So I kind of feel like I need to take her.
Yes, because there's truffles on this. It is definitely pricey. So again, but either way, so either your kids are picky and they're just ordering from a Disney menu where they can get picky kids food, or they're not picky and you need to be prepared to spend a fortune on what they're going to eat.
There's that.
I would say most people that go in there, they're going to order the steak. The steak is what everyone knows. It's amazing. The appetizers that I loved also that I want to try next time are mussels. They had tuna. So they have a ton. And then we got the funniest dessert I've ever seen in my life. We won't discuss how we got it. But basically,
what happened?
Jen left her daughter at home for her birthday.
Oh, that's it was her actual birthday. It was her
actual birthday that day. So the server ended up bringing out a mousse. It was a chocolate mousse.
It
was a mousse. It was a chocolate mousse in shape of a moose.
Oh,
and we sang happy birthday to Lily, who was at home because I'm mom of the year.
Well, did you video it?
I probably did.
It's not like you left Lily home crying. Let's all defend Jen here for a minute. Lily did not even care.
No.
They celebrated her birthday another day, and it was no big deal because that kid is practical.
Yes.
Anyway, so how was the mousse?
It was good. We were
really
we were stuffed, so we were not looking for a full-on dessert.
I just couldn't get over the fact that it was a mousse.
It was very cute.
That is very clever.
Been any more Canadian if they tried.
Yeah.
So it was a mousse with a chocolate maple leaf on top.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
You
So
know.
the menu here is pretty standard for a steakhouse, right? Like anyway,
Yes.
and like you said, you're either going to spend a lot with your kids or not. I'm thinking go for lunch and just get some appetizers and that poutine.
Yeah,
Like,
I
okay, kids, we're
definitely
going, and you can't get anything but poutine.
and definitely how we did it was
And the
great,
soup.
but if you're going there to experience the steak and everything, I mean, keep in mind that this is like a steak place where the steak is priced and then everything that you add on to their
It's a
like
la carte.
enhancements, it's all a la carte. So you're not going to get out of there for less than $60 or $70 a person.
At least.
Yeah.
At least, if that's how you're
It's
ordering.
expensive. It's expensive. But maybe you just want to go for the poutine.
But again,
Anywho.
I think 5 Mouska stars absolutely for this
All
one.
right.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. So moving on to Hollywood Studios then. So again, in Hollywood Studios, the ones that I always struggle to get for people, of course, Oga's, but now 50s.
50s prime time and
Thank
sci-fi
you.
dine-in.
50s prime time
Hard
and
ones.
sci-fi dine-in. It's because they rhyme. I struggle.
They don't
I
make
always
it easy.
mix it around. Anyway, but one that's not always so hard to get a reservation for is Hollywood Brown Derby. And it surprises me that it's not always hard to get a reservation for, because this is like the big old Hollywood. This is the restaurant I kind of think of when I think of Hollywood Studios, because it's modeled after the Hollywood heyday in the 20s. There was a Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant and all that. But you can get in here. And they serve the famous Cobb salad and the famous grapefruit cake, and then the adapted grapefruit cake martini. Lori's been a couple of times. Jen and I have been. I've been a couple of times. Jen's been once. What do we think about this one? What do we think about the atmosphere? The atmosphere is cool. It's a throwback. It's all the things I love about
really
Hollywood
cool.
Studios. Yeah.
The atmosphere is amazing. It's old school Hollywood. It's, it has a lot of history in it. Club 33 is located inside it by the bathrooms.
Not that you can see it.
Not that you can see it, but you can see the elevator. But no, it's it's one of those restaurants that kind of transports you out of the park, but still ties into it.
Mm-hmm.
And the theming is really, really good on it. I think that's where we're going to stop when it comes to agreeing with things.
Yeah, we don't agree on this one.
We don't. This is one of my favorite restaurants across Disney.
Yeah. So yeah, it used to be one of mine. But then I went back as an adult and was underwhelmed
I went once, and that's enough.
Yeah. So we disagree, but we did put it on the off the beaten path restaurant because it is not as difficult to get into as others.
It's off the beaten path.
Yeah, and I think they finally have reopened the cafe on the side, the lounge, to just table service there as well. For a very long time, post COVID, it was just cocktails and walk up, and it's still first come first serve. You can sit down now and I think order a couple of things from a small menu, much like Nomad Lounge is operating, I would imagine. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I like that option for this. And I love, like you said, I love the whole lore of Hollywood Brown Derby. There's a bunch of paintings and pictures with signatures on them, and some of them, I think it's the ones in the gold frames are from the original restaurant in Hollywood. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
So again, a really cool place to walk
cool
around.
Vibe. Absolutely cool vibe.
So what did we eat? Did we get an appetizer? We loved the appetizer. We did.
We did.
I think we definitely got the staples. We definitely knew we needed to try the Cobb salad. We definitely knew we wanted the grapefruit martini or grapefruit cake martini. I think we also got the grapefruit cake. So we got the staples.
That's right. We didn't get an appetizer. We got the lobster mac and cheese. That was what it was.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Right. That one was good.
The lobster mac and cheese was good. And whatever Jen said, the Cobb salad's amazing. I think it's awesome. I'm not the biggest salad fan, and I love that salad. Absolutely love it.
I love a Cobb salad. This Cobb salad was soggy.
I just, I struggled with this hot Cobb salad. It was over chopped. That was what it was.
Yes.
The problem was it was over chopped, and the turkey was mealy in my mouth. I'm sorry.
It was not a good experience. I did not like the martini one bit.
No, I didn't like the martini.
Oh my God. The martini's amazing.
I loved the cake though. That grapefruit cake. And I don't think Jen liked it. One of you
I
did
don't
not
even
like it.
remember.
No, I love the cake.
It was
the cake.
unforgettable for
No.
me.
5 Mosca stars for the grapefruit cake. I don't really eat sweets. It was, although the older I get, the more I do. Fancy that. But it was delicious. My feeling about the Hollywood Brown Derby is just as much as it is a throwback to the glam of old Hollywood. The menu and the food is executed in my mind a lot like restaurants of the 1980s and before, where like there were just like you could get beef Wellington and it was always exactly the same, and you could get just the like trout almondine and all those sort of classic American things. I feel like this is the same kind of execution of food.
Yeah, I will say, so we tried some other stuff when I was there with my family. I had the tuna carpaccio. That was awesome. They did a really good job with that one. Yes, it's, tuna carpaccio, but it was really, really good. We also tried the burger, the Brown Derby burger. I thought was awesome. They do a little bit different where they put bacon jam on it and then they add the fried egg, which is
I love the fried egg.
I remember saying that while we were there, that I really regretted not getting the Brown Derby burger.
Yeah.
I always hesitate to get a burger at a restaurant like this because at Disney, when I'm doing a quick service, I'm likely to get a burger. So
Yeah.
But that the burger does sound delicious. So I am not going to be a one and done on this one. I want to try it again. I was just incredibly disappointed that our famous Cobb salad, which is literally what it's called on the menu, was in my opinion really crappy. But I want to try the filet with Walt Disney's roast beef hash because I think that was like his favorite was roast beef hash. These sea scallops with chipotle glazed pork belly sounds amazing.
I want to say we got that one too. Eric and I we didn't eat all day and then we got there for dinner.
And like one of everything.
One of everything. Go. So yeah, I think we did that, but yeah, I will say that burger was delicious. I like the chopped salad and lots of other people do.
Obviously.
But yeah,
Maybe
the grapefruit
it's just a
cake,
bad day.
It might have been. The grapefruit cake is like that. You have to order it. You can't go in there without ordering that dessert.
I loved it.
That martini.
You know what? The martini, I think, reminded me of an orange Julius. Have you ever had an orange
like a
Julius?
Creamsicle because it was like creamy and
a creamsicle, but not a good
citrusy.
creamsicle.
Yeah.
It was
It's grapefruit. Grapefruit's not my favorite fruit. But
I love grapefruit. That's the thing.
See, I hate grapefruit, but love that drink. Love the cake.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
that says a lot, actually.
Yes.
So anyway, off the beaten path, maybe not so much a hidden gem, maybe more of like a hidden precious metal.
Yes. Definitely off the beaten path. Definitely something that if you want to try to get this reservation, you're not going to have an issue with it. So on that note, that's great. And I mean, maybe we just had a bad day. Maybe I'll try it again and get the burger.
I'll try it again. I'm getting the scallops in the burger.
If I try it again, I would love to try it in the lounge.
Yeah, the lounge just looks great. And it's outside for people watching.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the parks.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Disney Springs. Again, we like a lot of restaurants in Disney Springs. They're, in fact, we've said more than once that some of our favorite restaurants are not in the theme parks at all.
Yeah.
So, which means Disney Springs, and then our very favorites are in the resorts. But I think one of the most popular ones that people ask of you to book in Disney Springs, for me, it's Paddlefish and Boathouse and
Raglan.
Homecoming, Raglan Road.
Yeah.
Which you can't go wrong with any of those, really.
They're all great. They're all great. But there are many, many more restaurants that I feel like locals know about in Disney Springs. And certainly we discovered Wine Bar George recently when we were down there. And again, not the easiest to get a reservation, but not the hardest. Lori and I just walked up. Didn't we just walk up?
We just walked up. So we were a party at 2:00. It was later. I think by the time we got there, it was like 9:00.
And we sat at the bar.
Yeah. And we sat at the bar. So not as difficult to get in, but definitely I think with those Disney Spring restaurants, they're a little different. So definitely, try walking up to some of them, especially this one. This one I think is the most underbooked, other than a few of the other ones, but it's in a popular location across from Boathouse, and by Homecoming, but it's very underbooked.
It is. You can't walk up to Homecoming and expect them to ever seat you. And Raglan Road even too. I mean, you could get pretty lucky because that's a little bit of a bigger venue, but I mean, off the beaten path, Wine Bar George is you're going to find availability.
Yeah, usually. So let's talk about the atmosphere. It's a multi-floor restaurant. It just feels like a regular restaurant. It feels like a regular modern swanky restaurant. There's like a wine bar. There's the bar is beautiful on each floor. There's one, I believe. We sat upstairs, we sat at the bar, yada, yada, and we got some small plates. So they have a bunch of small plates, cheese and charcuterie boards, just a couple of entree choices. And then they have some family style, like the sea bass, the whole fish kind of thing for 2 to 4 people, or a steak, I want to say. So you can do that. Lori and I opted for just small plates.
Yes.
I think we got some sort of, you've heard of like Iberico ham. It's like Serrano ham. It's like a Spanish ham. Well, they just did like an Iberico pork, it was like a tenderloin, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be the Brussels sprouts. It's not listed on their menu right now, but we'd ordered it because we thought it was Brussels sprouts.
Right. It came with shaved Brussels sprouts and like a sauce. And we were like, oh, we'll have the Brussels sprouts. And he was like, no, it's pork covered in Brussels sprouts. And we were like, oh, okay. It was delicious.
Sounds really good.
Oh, yeah, there it is. So it's the pork pluma.
Pork pluma, yeah.
So
yummy.
It's shaved Brussels sprouts and then a blackberry sauce on top. It was delicious, but we just read it and we were like, oh, Brussels sprouts. And he's like, no, pork. So it was
delicious. We were like, even better.
Yeah, we're like, sure, sounds great.
Yeah, it was delicious. And then we got the
I
meatballs.
love small plates.
Me too. I like a little
I'm sad I missed
everything.
this one.
Yeah.
The meatballs.
I think we got meatballs and
delicious.
Delish. And did we get octopus salad here?
And then we got the octopus salad.
It's pretty much a guarantee that if there's octopus on a menu, I'm ordering it because I just love it and I don't make it. I will be honest, I don't remember this octopus salad that well. Could have been the bourbon. I remember it was
a little bit
grilled, right? It was like a grilled.
It's a grilled octopus. It's very, I won't say basic because I feel like some of the plates, sometimes they only have like 3-4 ingredients and they are basic plates, but then they're very, very good.
They pack in so much flavor.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of food.
That's all you really need to do to octopus is grill it and throw on salt and pepper and lime.
Really they did simple. Like a lemon vinaigrette. It was delicious. There was a lot of octopus there, a lot.
It was good.
So I mean, for the two of us and we were hungry, we just ordered those 3 and we were good.
Yeah, they were big. They were pretty big dishes. Yeah, so we enjoyed that. We didn't get a dessert, I don't think. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. So what do you think about this one? Family date night?
So I think family could definitely do it. It does. So we just talked about the appetizers. It does do charcuterie boards, and then the entrees are shared. So they have a short ribs and then a chicken that you can share table side. And then they have family style plates that you can share as well. I'm actually taking my entire extended family and my family there on December 30th. So there's enough. My kids love charcuterie boards though.
So that's a point to note. We were talking about reservations. My kids love charcuterie too.
Yeah.
When did you make so you have 10 people?
So we have 10 people. So making reservations for 10 people is really tricky. Mm-hmm. It usually does not work on the My Disney. So the restaurants in Disney Springs, you can physically call the restaurant. It's amazing. So I actually called the restaurant and was able to reserve and get a reservation because we have a larger group. So that part was really nice. And
that's awesome. And they had space is my point. Like December 30th is coming up. It's a very busy week at Disney.
Very busy.
And you made this reservation within 60 days.
Yeah, actually I think I was like 62 days because I wanted to make sure I was in there before the 60 days hit.
Right, because you have resort reservations, so you could
Correct.
do the 60 plus length of stay. All
Yes.
right. So that's great to know, though. You were
Yes.
able to get in at a reasonable time on a good day on a very busy week.
On a very busy week. And we mentioned we did not get desserts because Ganachery is 2 stores down.
That's right. We had to do that. I think this is
That's smart eating.
I think this is a good family one. I think it's a good date one. Lori's mentioned in the past also that you can walk up and get a charcuterie board to go and picnic in Disney Springs if you want to do that. So we like that idea. And also didn't know this, there's a weekend brunch Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, right. So if you're departing on a Saturday or a Sunday, I would consider getting a fill up at Wine Bar George before.
And again, off the beaten path because so many people rush to do the homecoming brunch. And then there's another brunch somewhere, House of Blues
And
also does a
boathouse.
We should do a brunch show. We need to sample the brunches. That means we have to be down for several weekends in a row.
I'm down. Let's do it.
I'm okay. Well, there we go.
I mean, I'm all for brunch every single time. And I peeked at this brunch menu before because I was looking around at things. It's very similar to homecoming. So it'd be really interesting because they have
do a comparison.
Yeah, they have like a fried chicken biscuit. They have sausage gravy and biscuits. They have it's a little similar.
I think we've got our next podcast episode.
There you go. We'll have to stay on a Saturday and Sunday because I think they only do these brunches on the weekends. Actually, I'm sure of it. Yeah. All right. So last but not least, let's go to the resorts because this one, I'm just going to end the suspense for you right now. We all agree on this one. This one is an off the beaten path hidden gem. 2 thumbs up for this one. Like I said earlier, we're huge fans of resort dining. You might argue we think that the best restaurants at all of Walt Disney World can be found at the resorts. And top of our list, one of the top. I can't say it's number one.
It's hard to narrow down.
Yeah. But at the top, one of the top of our list is in a place that you would least expect. It's not even in a deluxe resort. It's at the Grand Destino Tower in Coronado Springs, and it is Toledo Tapas Steak and Seafood. I'm calling it the hiddenest gem of all. I know that's not proper English, but whatever.
No, but it is true. It is the
best. So this is a Spanish-inspired restaurant with steak and seafood and tapas, as indicated in the name. And it's at the top floor of the Grand Destino Tower. And to the right, when you get off the elevator, is the Dahlia Lounge, which is also great. Super bar that's busy. There were a lot of people in there because Coronado is the convention resort. So there's always adults milling about without children. And they're going to the bars. Anyway, and then to the left is Toledo, which is a very giant room with high ceilings and glass on both sides, just sort of overlooking the whole resort in a way that reminded me of California Grill. Not as big as California Grill.
I was going to make the same comparison because Dahlia Lounge too is like that, but also a little bit like Topolino's because it has that big patio you can go. It's not quite as big as Topolino's patio, but you can go out on the patio and look, especially at night, you can see Epcot, you can see the resort. It's really cool.
Yeah. It shows the back part of Galaxy's Edge too, which is really cool at night.
Yeah.
We saw there at night. I love this restaurant.
So good.
I love it. We went here for Thanksgiving and we chose to forego all Thanksgiving foods. And I've never been happier in my life.
And I think it's not surprising that we love this because a lot of the restaurants that we've been talking about tonight, we talk about the small plates and how much we like that. And that's kind of basically the thing of this restaurant.
It's true. This one has more choices for entrees than Wine Bar George did, which is nice. So, and I think again, with this menu, a lot of people can be a little scared because it's Spanish inspired, but it's pretty basic food. We're talking about steaks. There was a chicken dish that one of my friend who is a fairly picky eater, she actually thought it was a little bland. So there's stuff for everybody. As far as atmosphere goes, I did mention the high ceilings and the glass, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's a very beautiful, artful, think like Dali and Picasso sort of art, modern Spanish art kind of look. But it's loud. It's loud. Yes. The ceilings are really tall. Yeah. That's probably a complaint for me in most Disney restaurants.
I was going to say, but at the same point, that the ceilings are so high up, but
Yeah.
it's gorgeous because they have, it's a high ceiling restaurant. It has all these really cool lights and globes and everything else going in there to go with the decor. But then at the same point, it can get very noisy in there. It can get very noisy.
Yeah, it's just echoey, but otherwise absolutely love it.
The decor in the whole resort goes up into the restaurant.
it.
Everything is very like Picasso,
Yes.
right? It's cool. I love it.
I will say the only downfall to this resort is it is really a hidden gem because to get over
It's
to
hard to get
Coronado
there.
is hard to get there. You are essentially taking unless you're heading from a park.
Or,
It's true.
at the end of your Hollywood Studios day, because there's
Correct.
nothing worth eating there anyway.
Because you didn't eat at Hollywood Brown Derby.
Take your bus over to Coronado
So
Springs.
it's funny because recently Reed and I did an episode, was it just last week, where we aired about our trip. And we actually really love the location of Coronado Springs if you have a car.
Yeah.
Because something about, and I like I said on that episode, I don't have the Disney World resort map really that well laid out in my head that I know how to
You're
drive
not
around
Lori.
there.
You're not Matt.
I mean, the roads too?
Yeah.
So then you can explain something about where Coronado Springs Resort is situated on the property. It is like as soon as you turn off the Disney Highway, whatever it's called, you're right there at the entrance. No matter where you're trying to go, it's 7 minutes away if you have a car.
It's a weird place because in terms of a car, it's super close. In terms of the parks, it's literally on the back edge of Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
At this point, I'm pretty sure you might be able to see the new Star Wars hotel from there because where it's located from the back edge.
Yeah, probably.
And then you're seeing the other side of Epcot on the other side of it. So it is located to both of the parks.
It's
so
central.
transportation.
No, it's just the bus transportation that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you have a car, I am going to recommend it to everyone I know who drives because I love this resort, and I love this restaurant. I will say you were talking about the views, so we could see Harmonious from our table.
Yeah.
Only the fireworks, which don't really stand alone, like maybe at Magic Kingdom, but still, it was really cool. I had no idea that was going to happen. It's a little bonus.
I was going to say it's a part. That's why it'll be interesting to see at some point in time if they ever do an expansion on the Skyliner. This is the resort they would do the expansion to because of where it's located. That's how close it is to those two resorts and to everything else.
Which would make this resort so much more appealing.
It really would.
I know, but it would also then make it so much more expensive. I like this one's got a great price point. This is deluxe at moderate pricing. I really like it.
It is. The lobby is really cool. The tower is beautiful. It's a cool resort to kind of walk around. I just, if you can get over the fact of trying to get there, the restaurant's gorgeous. My family loved it.
It is harder to get to. But if you're, I thought it was great.
It is the hiddenest gem.
Yeah. I got surprise. And I ended up just getting small plates for myself. Everyone I was with got entrees, but I got the octopus, surprise, with potatoes and chimichurri sauce. I've eaten octopus in a lot of places. I've eaten octopus in Greece, not to sound snooty, but they are the kings of octopus. This melted in my mouth like no other octopus I have ever eaten.
Starving.
I made everyone at the table try it. I will say not every bite was that tender, but most bites were. It was fantastic. I was going to say,
we just did starters. I think me, Eric, the kids, one or two of the kids ordered like kid meals, but Eric and I we did starters and we did charcuterie board and we were good. We never touched the entrees.
I'm starving.
Right?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. I can't even talk about it. I don't think that we did dessert. Did you do? No, I know we did dessert. I just don't remember it that well.
We did only, but I didn't. Oh no, we tried we tried that one. We tried the cafe con leche. That one was good. But then they had one because it was Thanksgiving night. So they did have a tray of like Thanksgiving desserts because I remember eating pumpkin pie. Because that was the only part of Thanksgiving that I missed was pumpkin pie. So
yeah, you gotta have pumpkin pie.
Yeah. So I know we had that. But delicious. The food was awesome. And it's one of those places too where I think if you're with a group of people that are like, yes, I'm at Disney, but maybe
Right. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, you could say that about the whole resort, really. It
Yeah.
doesn't really feel as Disney as the others, but that's
Yes.
kind of why I love it too. Like, I love it. All right. So with all of these fantastic restaurants, we say try each and every one of them out, except maybe one. That's one mouse tip for you.
Or if you like what I say, go to Brown Derby.
That's right. Or listen to Lori. Lori, what other tips might you have?
All right. So one of the biggest tips, other than to go to eat at Brown Derby, is the Disney Springs restaurants. Disney runs them. They are on My Disney Experience, but they are on Open Table. It is a lot easier to get a reservation for the Disney Spring restaurants on Open Table than what it is on My Disney Experience. So if you strike out on My Disney Experience, open up that Open Table app, and majority of the restaurants are all listed there. And it is a lot easier. And if you have a party of 8 or more, just give them a call.
There you go. So with Disney Springs restaurants, there is another way.
Yes.
I would always start with My Disney Experience just because it's nice to have it all in that account together. But if you strike out, or if you have a big party or you need to change something.
Yes.
I like it. All right. So, awesome.
All right. So thank you for spending another episode with us. If you've enjoyed this crazy podcast episode and you are starving like we are, please be sure to subscribe to our show so that you receive notifications when new content is released and you'll never miss an episode. And please consider writing us a review on Apple Podcasts as well. It really does help. For the latest news out of Disney, don't forget to visit our blog at mousecamoms.blog.com and join our group on Facebook at Disney Planning and Chat by Mousecamoms. All of these links will be in our show notes, so look for those, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.